What's happening in Baltimore is awesome. You know, we chatted with Tone about this because he has an AP vote, and there's been 2 times in the past where quarterback wins the MVP, running back wins Offensive Player of the Year. It was Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk, both of those times, okay? Greatest show on turf. Everything that they're doing, yards per play, explosion rate, run rate, like everything they're doing is surpassing what the Greatest Show on Turf was doing. They're must-watch. They have power. They have flash. They have it all. What are you seeing from this Ravens team, and why do you like them so much, Jage?
Oh, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Todd Monken has only added a weapon to his arsenal and is now using it perfectly. I mean, what they're doing from an offensive standpoint, literally, you look at the rankings every single week, and it's number one. They're the best at rushing the ball. They're the best at passing the ball. They're just – everything is working. And obviously, when you add a player of Derrick Henry's caliber to this offense – and he comes in and plays the way that he is, also helped by how they run this offense. It's just an incredible 1-2 punch with him and Lamar. You know my feelings on MVP. It is and always will be and always should be a quarterback award because they affect the play more than anybody else every single game, every single play. So I think that Lamar is certainly potentially in line for a 3rd MVP right now. A question that I have a couple questions for AP Tone, but a question that I have is that you have Jayden Daniels right now, who he's a rookie. Obviously, we're hoping he plays this week. We'll see what happens. But he is currently doing something that no player in NFL history has ever done. He has 75% completion percentage, 200 yards passing per game, and 50 yards rushing per game. No quarterback in NFL history has ever done that in a 7-game span.
Whoa!
I feel like when a rookie comes in, he takes his team to the record that the Commanders are at right now, and he does something nobody in NFL history has ever done. To me, that is MVP worthy at this moment. There's a full season left to play. But where do you stack an offense like Lamar and what he's doing and Jayden Daniels right now? Tone, MVP race. Which one's winning it today?
Hold on, I'd like to add on to that, too, because you talk about Jayden Daniels, then you can go assistant coach, Cliff Kingsbury. How much does that get in there? Because he's a rookie doing something that nobody's ever done. Head coach, being able to turn. Like, there's so many things that go into that one question, Jage. Don't you think, for all these awards?
Yes, that's my other thing is like coach of the year, assistant coach of the year, etc. What kind of – everybody always talks about Andy Reid, Spags, those guys with the Chiefs because they're just doing it year after year. Do you still – as a voter, you're a voter, would you rather a guy that turned around a rough situation, Dan Quinn in Washington, turned around this team and made them something that they were not going to be? Or is the established guy, do they deserve some credit because sometimes they're overlooked?
So I haven't voted yet. So I haven't got to that point in December where I've had to cast a ballot or whatever. But it has traditionally, over the last few years, become, a situation like Dan Quinn, like with Dayball, with Stefanski. They won in 21-22, I believe. That was taking over a bad situation and then overperforming with that team. Or like Stefanski last year where the Browns were just a walking morgue and then still continued to win games and get to the playoff. That's kind of been where the coach of the year has gone, like in that situation. So like this year, like a KOC Dan Quinn would be the situation where you're overperforming, overexpected, and then like I don't think you could leave out those other guys that they were like the Lions and the Chiefs. You're supposed to have good teams, but you can't penalize a coach for then actually having a good team. In Andy Reid's situation, they're the only undefeated team left. Plus, they also have that injury thing where they have just on offense been bit every single week with an injury to their top guys. And especially in Andy's case, because he is the mastermind of that offense, they have just continued to keep winning football games. So I think traditionally it's been someone who's taken over a shitty situation and overperformed, or dealing with adversity, whether it be injury or whatever, and then still succeeding, even though you're supposed to be a top dog. But then the MCDC situation is just like, that guy is his team. Like that, he's got the pulse of his team better than anybody.
So let's talk.
But which will you vote?
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
He can't say that. That's his watch list right there.
It's too early, man.
Not a lot of say.
But you can't lean like which one you think is more.
No, because
there's those 5 right there. Mm-hmm. I think is who he's leaning right now. So we don't want Tone to lose his AP vote. No. He has been very close, we think, obviously, a few times. There's a couple rules. Yeah, we would like him to continue to have it because we think I think these are good questions from you. And if we have an AP vote, we're obviously going to treat it differently than everybody else in how they're going to treat it. So Tone kind of figuring it out and sorting it. That's why he's been doing the research on how it's normally gone to potentially see how he should look at it, but also trying to do his own thing. Let's go to the MVP watch list to answer your question about Jayden and Lamar up there. He doesn't have Jayden up there, probably because of the rookie award that's available. Is that right, Tone?
Well, I narrowed that one down to 3. Like if it would have been 5, Jayden would have probably been on there. But I narrowed it down to 3 because I thought these ones were just leave some. Like Josh Allen hasn't turned the ball over yet, and he's Josh Allen. Jared Goff is on a historical run in the last 4 games as far as what he's doing, and then Lamar. We talked about everything that he's done, so that's why those 3 were up there right now. But I'm not disagreeing at all with JJ in that situation. And if we had a rookie of the year graphic, I assume there's a heavy favorite in that situation.
Yeah, so that is interesting, though, because he could win MVP, he could win Offensive Player of the Year, and he could also win Rookie of the Year. And usually with these votes, and Jade, you tell me how it's gone your way, they almost like would prefer to get more people in there, so it almost like cuts the guy out of the potential MVP. Is that why you're asking, Jade?
Yeah, because I also think in that exact scenario you're talking about, I think that people don't want to give a rookie MVP. I think they think Rookie of the Year award, that's his recognition. He gets that recognition MVP. No matter how good he plays. Yeah, that's his MVP. You kind of have to prove it over time to earn an MVP award, which I 100% and completely disagree with that. Who knows how this is all going to play out over the course of the rest of the year? We're only, 7 weeks in? But, I mean, if he continues to play at a rate that nobody in the history of the league has ever done, and he continues to elevate this team to where they go on and possibly win this division, possibly win some playoff games, I mean, that would be the definition of a most valuable player. He was drafted, he came in, and he turned an entire organization around in 1 year. That's the most valuable player.
Jage, Ton could be the swing vote. That was good campaigning right
there. I am easily swayed.
And it is election season.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Make sure you get out and trade early.
That's right.
And vote for AP awards. Not early. We need to vote for those late.
End of the season.
No, I hate how that's always voted also. When is the voting for that, Tom?
December something.
13.
There's games played in January. I can't stand that, man.
Yeah, me too.
I can't stand how we don't vote until or even sometimes they wait till the last day, but everybody already knows who they're voting for. You have no idea. All 17 weeks should matter.
Well, also, no offense to Tone because he has one of those. It was hard for me at my position to take a media vote seriously. I was voted All-Pro, and I was voted not All-Pro, and I did not care either way because they have Pro Bowl, kind of the same thing. But these votes, these votes matter though. Like for a lot of these positions, like a lot of positions, they matter. Hall of Fame ballots, Adam Vinatieri is he's up for the Hall of Fame, I think, this upcoming year. And, no kicker's ever been a first ballot Hall of Famer. But they're going to list out all of his awards that he got from, media people included, as well as everything else. And that's like the pitch for why he deserves to be first ballot, which could be, but I don't know if he has as many Pro Bowls as people think, because his percentage each year, like somebody's like 92%. Vinny was always like 85%, but hitting every big ball. So it's like, how many Pro Bowls did he make by people that didn't really know what was happening in front of their eyes? It's interesting how important these votes actually are in reality of the football world.
I mean, the Devontae trade, one of the stipulations is that he's first or second team All-Pro, and that becomes a second-round pick.
That's huge.
That is a massive piece of information in
Tone Diggs.
It all is down to Tone Diggs.
So I pulled up the email to make sure I have the actual information. We have to send our completed NFL awards ballot by 5 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, January 8th. That is the Wednesday after the final week of the regular season.
Okay, that's going into 4:59 too, Tone. Yeah. We need every piece of information.
I agree.
We need every piece of information.
The NBA ones are always wild to me because they're contracts, like literal contracts. It's written in there. Like you can get a Supermax, you can get. They're affecting tens of millions of dollars. The NFL is as well, but not necessarily as literally. The NBAs are literally. If you make first team All Pro, you can get this much more money. It's incredible, and all based on a media member. Like you want to talk about potential possible corrupt issues. Like you get the right media member to vote for you at the right thing, you could have tens of millions of more dollars on your.
Well, then you talk about the complete flip side of that, like the MLB. They have they control the Hall of Fame and everything, right?
Yeah, the writers do. Yep.
So if they don't like you, because your media relations aren't good, it's like all of a sudden you can hear those stories at a bar later. I was screwed. They didn't like me. I was never voted this. I was never voted that. It's like that's coming from an athlete's perspective. All of us that are talking right now. So I hope the media members don't get pissed off. And we know you have no biases. And we know you know everything about punting when you're voting on all-pro punters that are potentially changing, contracts and careers forever. We appreciate you doing all the research that you do into that entire thing. In Tone, you're going to do a great job with it.
Hell yeah,
Thank you.
Tony.
It matters, Tone. That's why these
I know.
conversations are a big deal, Jage. We appreciate you bringing them up.